Hello, everybody.
I guess we are on.
Happy New Year's Eve still.
Or maybe it's already passed, depending upon where you are.
Yeah, because we do have people from Europe.
Yeah.
That chimes in every so often. Mm-hmm. So we got Austin, we got Alpha Tryon here, and we got Kay Munin, and we got several others. So again, happy New Year's Eve.
Eventually.
Still. Unless you're
already
in Europe, and
or maybe it hasn't come yet, or maybe it's not gonna come. Maybe you're in Australia.
If you're in Australia, it's not come and gone.
Is it? I know there's one place. Well, this is at one place. I forget where it is, where because of the way the international date line falls, it's New Year's Day on one side of the line, and then it's New Year's Day again on the other side. Which is so you can go to like two celebrations if you can afford it. Raccoon is here.
Hey, Raccoon Eyes, how are you?
As well as Doll Base.
Yes.
So we get ready to launch off. Well, for us, it will be New Year's
in an hour.
In an hour, so in about an hour, you might hear gunshots.
It's already started. They've been
already started
working on that since the sun went down.
Yeah, they already started bothering my cats. All my shelter cats in the backyard, they don't want to hear all that.
No.
Well, they really just huddle up on the porch, so it's no big deal. But you know how animals are with that kind of stuff.
Yeah, so
it's better than New Year's where I grew up, where I never did anything for New Year's until I was an adult anyways. But then, of course, growing up in the Boston area, they have this big to-do that they do downtown on New Year's where they do fireworks and they do ice sculptures and they do other stuff. But, I don't know how it is right now in Boston, but back then I did it like 2 years in a row. And then I was like, nah, never again, because it's like -16 freaking degrees and you're stuck downtown after midnight and there's like 1 million people and it takes hours to get the hell out of there. It's not even worth it trying to get into the subway. You're better off walking from Government Center for an hour all the way to Kenmore Square and getting on a train or a bus from there, because you ain't getting in the subway.
Hello, Punisher X. How are
X
you?
Is here.
And we got Christopher Graham. You're welcome for the card.
Christmas card.
Yes. Yeah, I'm hearing gunshots here.
Redneck, Georgia.
Redneck, Georgia. Yeah. William is still
here.
sick. I'm getting better. Still got a little blowing of the nose, but getting better. By Thursday, I probably
Ghost in the Shell Individual 11, the entire series on YouTube for free. Great anime to watch. Okay, Ghost in the Shell.
And then we got Bjorn is here. Thank you for showing up.
Says
and now taking
over for Dick Clark. Well, Dick Clark is passed, but they keep his so-called Dick Clark's New Year's Rockin' Eve. They still try to pretend to do it in New York.
It ain't the same without Dick Clark. But growing up, we used to watch the ball drop or the apple drop, whatever
it's a ball.
It was.
It's just a big crystal ball. 10, 9, 8.
Yeah.
Yeah. Ogun Shy has joined us.
How you doing?
Munin says people have been shooting fireworks for over a week. No concept of timing. They don't care. They don't care. And Tuck says they want roast duck with mango salsa.
Oh,
Oh
I
yeah.
had duck. No, I didn't have duck. I had
Uh-huh.
goose once. Tastes like grass.
And John is here.
And it's real greasy and kind of rubbery. I
Oh
don't know
yeah.
if it's because my mama didn't know what she was doing when she cooked it,
Mhm.
but you can taste the grass and it was oily and kind of rubbery. I ain't care for it. Hey, John McJunkin, happy New
Yes,
Year's Eve to everyone,
that's what he
especially
says.
to our hosts. Thank you, thank you, thank you.
And Santa.
In the
He
background.
was still hanging around with us. I'm gonna hang on to that thing for a minute.
Oh
I don't have anywhere to
boy.
put it anyways.
Yeah,
But
put it in the
it was
bathroom.
so inexpensive. No, we're not at the Funko Pop level with this stuff yet, where you gotta.
Praise God.
I've seen many Funko Pop collectors who have their show tours, and there is a setup in the bathroom, and it's like it's going to absorb moisture over time, right? But whatever. Tuck says he stole the line from the Geico caveman. I see.
I like that they kind of bringing the caveman
They're
back.
not doing nothing with it because the commercial
No,
sucks.
yeah, where they're playing truth or consequences or
Yeah,
whatever. Um, yeah, but it used to be funny when it came out
used to
originally,
be.
and then it kind of had a family, and then they did the TV show that lasted only a couple of episodes because they went too far. Then the cavemen were popular, but when they did the TV show, it was like, okay, that's too much. People liked it as a a commercial. That
I
was
never
enough.
saw it when it was on when it was its own show.
I never saw it, but I remember it coming on and them advertising that it was going to be a TV show, but I never watched it. And I know it didn't last long.
Munin says, "What if the crystal ball malfunctioned? Instead of touching down, it falls apart? What if? What
Hmm.
if they had a movie plot where there was a bomb inside of the ball,
Mm.
and when it reaches a certain point, it would explode, and someone was trying to stop it from coming down, and nobody would let him because it's the New Year's Eve ball, and you're crazy, buddy. There's no explosive in there. We know what we're doing." Christopher said the
Peach.
peach drop in Atlanta looks like an upside down butt with a leaf sticking out of it. Does it? They do a peach drop?
Yeah, they do a peach drop.
I don't know. And I live
Um,
here.
yeah, they've been doing that for years. They do it at I think
Hmm.
the Mall of Georgia.
Oh,
I
please.
think. How's the weather? It was warm today. It got up to the 70s, but they say it's supposed to have a snowstorm.
It's
I don't know.
damp.
Yeah, it was raining all week, but
Yes.
today it was nice and warm. But the temperature is supposed to
Temperature.
plummet, and
Yes.
they say it's gonna snow. We'll see. We live in Georgia, so who knows?
Munin wants to know why anyone would keep their collectibles in the bathroom. At some point it may soak up some odor. Oh wow! I would hope they would keep their bathroom cleaner than that. But yeah, you've seen the videos. You must have.
Yeah,
Well, we've seen a ton of them where they got them in the kitchen, they've got
yeah.
them in the
Hey, Mickle
bathroom.
Stapler. We saw the one guy. He collect action figure statues and pops, and he kept the pops in the kitchen cabinet, and on the kitchen counter he had
Oh
statues, and
man,
he had just bought a new house, and he said, oh, don't worry, I don't cook anyway, so I just put my
still
stuff everywhere. I mean, even if you don't cook, you don't want to have statues and toys all up in the
in the
kitchen.
kitchen. Come on now.
What if you get a girlfriend or a wife or something? She know that
I
mess
guess
gotta
she ain't
go.
gonna eat at home either. You know what it makes me think of is, oh God, what is his name? The 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 male model who used to be on all those romance.
Fabio.
Fabio, that's right. And I saw a thing. You know how they do the like lifestyles of the rich and famous kind of
Yeah.
stuff. They went to his house,
Hmm.
and in his kitchen, it's full of motorcycles. He says he can't use the kitchen because he ran out of space in the garage, and he's got like 40 motorcycles in the kitchen. And when they went, they opened his refrigerator, and it was actually full of boxes of I can't believe it's not butter. They said they gave them to him, and he stuck them in the refrigerator and forgot about it, but he never uses the refrigerator. And I just thought that was hilarious that he had actually cases of I can't believe it's not
Is he
butter in
still
his.
alive?
Yeah, he's still alive. You haven't. I mean, he's retired now, but he had that accident too.
Oh, did he?
Yeah, well, he was on a roller coaster. It was for some grand opening of some theme
Mm.
park, and a seagull, when it was flying, came across and it hit him clean in the face,
Ooh.
and I think it broke his nose. But
You can fix that pretty
yeah,
good.
he recovered from it. But that was just a bizarre thing to have happen. He gave good interviews. If
Did
you
he?
ever saw
Mm-mm.
him, you know how some people celebrities, they go to like the Carson show or whatever and they're blithering idiots.
Mm-hmm.
He actually gave pretty interesting interviews when he would appear on talk shows. Tuck never saw the Caveman show,
Yeah, but the
he says.
commercials were funny. They
Commercials
were
are funny.
funny. And then it got better as they kind of gave them a life and a personality and everything, and they were doing things. But commercials used to mean something
Yeah,
because you had characters and all of that, and they had a life, and you kind of followed them. The crystal ball is filled with unsold Funko Pop.
that's
That's
what
a
Munin
lot.
says.
It's warm and muggy down here. Business as usual. Yeah.
Yeah. William says Toledo, they do a fish drop.
Are you serious? Are you serious? You're just
In
making that up.
Cincinnati, they do a turkey drop. Who knows what I'm talking about?
Nobody.
Somebody got that,
I
please.
think they moved the butt drop. I mean, peace drop
To
next to the
the Brave
the Brave
Stadium. That's
Stadium.
what
Did they?
Christopher claims.
Oh,
And Gilgamesh has
hey
joined us,
Gilgamesh, how are you?
and he says he hasn't watched a peach drop in years. I didn't know there was such a thing. I
Yeah,
don't pay
I've
attention.
never watched it, but I know it's a thing. But I don't watch it go or nothing like
And
that.
that's what Tuck is saying. Fabio had a weird life. He got stuck at or struck in the
Hmm.
face by the bird. Yeah.
Yeah.
And John says apple drop in New York, peach drop in Georgia, orange drop in Florida. I'm afraid to think what they drop in San Francisco. Their pants.
Yeah.
California besides human waste.
Yeah.
Yeah, they drop their
Yeah.
pants.
Yeah.
There you
San
go.
Fran log drop.
Okay. The law. Well, they do have that map. They do have the excrement map to warn.
Yeah.
When you've got to have a map for your tourists to avoid certain areas because of excessive amounts of human waste, then you have other problems besides your tourist bureau. There's nothing they can do for you, and you shouldn't be visiting there.
No.
I mean, that's all I have to say about that without getting into too many details. Nobody got the Cincinnati turkey drop reference.
No, because
Oh, I'm
nobody cares.
disappointed. Oh, come on. That's pure nostalgia right
Really?
there.
I don't know.
It's extremely significant. It's
Oh.
extreme. It actually, it really is. Somebody's gonna get it. You know what?
They're gonna look it up. They're googling it now.
Oh, I remember.
I went to a New Year's Eve party at a club in downtown Atlanta once. That was in.
Gilgamesh says,
I've
and
never
you
been to.
survived.
I've never
But
been to a New Year's Eve party.
neither have I.
Mm-mm.
No, I don't go to parties. I'm not good with parties. I don't drink. I don't smoke. I'm not just going to run off with somebody. So me at a party, it's kind of pointless almost. Tuck says LA has maps to the stars. San Francisco has maps to the poos. Yeah, they're getting it now.
Yeah.
WKRP. John got it. Who else? Christopher
Christopher and
and
Patty.
Patty got it. That's right.
Yep.
WKRP. It was the Thanksgiving Day turkey drop, and they dropped live turkeys out of a
Oh
helicopter,
my God.
and the which was disastrous.
I bet.
And the station manager comes back, just ripped to bits. You know, WKRP in Cincinnati, the TV show,
Mm-hmm.
and he looks like he just got out of a war zone, and he's like, I swear to God, I thought turkeys could fly.
Happy pre-New Year. Hey,
Reston
Rustin.
is here. Yeah. Oh, the humanity, Christopher. That's right.
They should.
Les Nessman live from downtown Cincinnati. Oh, the humanity.
Yeah, Skid Row. That place. Ugh,
That would be
scary.
the needle drop.
Yeah.
The needle drop in Skid Row, because well, they give them away down there.
Yeah.
It's free. But what are you going to do? That's your tax dollars at work, folks. But anyway,
Yeah, but that's not what we're here to talk about.
we're hoping that the year gets better. Uh, for New Year's, I was going to grow a beard. Oh, wait.
Les Newman. Now that's a newsman.
Les Nessman.
Nessman.
Les Nessman.
Just for
Raccoon.
Lonnie Anderson.
Raccoon says
Mm-hmm.
she was married to Burt Reynolds.
Yeah.
She was married to Burt Reynolds until they got divorced.
Mm.
John says, Mr. Carlson, as God is my witness, I actually thought that turkeys could fly. There you go. That's what it was. I was paraphrasing.
Partying, but I used to party all the time. People that really knew me though called me the most social, antisocial person they've ever met. I'm good at faking
And
it.
that's Gilgamesh talking there. But yeah, I mean, I don't do a lot of the stuff that parties are famous for because I don't get it. I mean, why do I want to go and drink until I get sick?
You don't
You
have to
know,
drink. I used to go to parties. I don't drink
why
and
do I want to
smoke.
stand around and watch other people drink until they get sick? I can watch TV and see that. I
No, you
don't
go
know.
and you dance and stuff. Like I
I
used
don't
to go
know.
to the nightclubs and stuff like
Oh,
that, but I never drank or smoked. I just
mhm.
go and dance, and I always had a rule at 2 o'clock. I would leave. I don't care what was doing. I'm just leaving. Or if it seemed like it was just getting crazy, then I'll just leave. But
Yeah,
I like dancing,
and
so
Reston invokes Eddie Murphy with "Party All the
yeah,
Time."
that
My
was a good
girl likes to
song
party all the time. And Tuck
for.
says we partied for 3 days and 2 nights in 1999. Haven't really partied on New Year's since. Yeah, but were you at the New Year's celebration where Prince actually sang 1999? 'Cause they fought over him,
Yeah,
and somebody,
everybody
I
wanted him.
forget who he ended up going with, but somewhere he was at the New Year's Eve party singing that song.
Yeah.
I know he did it. I just forget where it was. Munin says turkey splattered on the pavement. Hate to be the poor schmuck that gets stiffed with cleaning that mess. Well, hopefully they're getting paid for it. Well, city employee.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, and Christopher says, God bless indeed. God bless us, everyone. Thank you, Tiny Tim. But God bless us, everyone, even Mr. Scrooge. Tuck wore a hat with a digital counter, and Marvin Martian saying your days are numbered. Oh yeah, because of this, everybody was scared of Y2K, and
That
unless
was in 2000.
yeah, but Y2K was the year 2000. So
Yeah.
when it went from 1999
Mm-hmm.
to January 1st, 2000, all
Nothing
the
happened.
computers was supposed to stop,
Nothing
but
happened.
nothing happened. Yeah, unless you were in like a fifth world country, and your computer was powered by like a little windmill generator you had out in the desert. Nothing was going to happen to you.
Mm-mm.
Nothing happened to anybody, but man, they went for it.
Nothing happened in 2012 either.
No, well, that's because they didn't understand the Mayan calendar. They were like, oh, the Mayan calendar ends. No, the Mayan calendar is perpetual. So when you get to the end of it, it goes back to one. It doesn't end.
Yeah.
And it's just like, and you can't tell anybody that.
Mm-mm. But it was good watching all of those documentaries because I used to watch them.
Trying to justify it. I know.
And then it made movies about it
Yeah.
and wrote books and all of that. And you're like,
Uh-huh. And where are those people now?
it's coming up with the
Trying to
next thing.
convince you of something else.
Yeah.
I know it. Yeah. That's right. Tuck says, I didn't own a computer then. I was a broke construction worker. Pretty unconcerned. Well, there you go. And there's
Number one
number
Marvel
one Marvel
fan,
fan. And Edwin
Edwin.
knew
Hey,
it was KRP, but he couldn't type because he was holding a plate and a fork.
Edwin's eating.
Edwin is having 11sies. And Reston says Y2K, there were churches that told the people to sell everything and say the world was ending. Yeah, I remember that.
Yeah.
Sell everything now. Eat, drink, and be merry, for tomorrow we die.
Yeah.
That's right. Another tomorrow we die, and nothing happened. They sold the Y2K bug little plushies. They look like Beanie Babies.
Uh-huh.
There was all kinds of stuff. It was hilarious. Gilgamesh says 2012 was the end of the long count. It's pretty much the same concept of going into a new age. That was it. Yeah, because it's supposed to rotate back to the beginning of the calendar count, right?
Yeah,
Something like that. But it didn't mean the world was going to end.
that's
I
what
don't know
they
where
said
anybody got that
in
crap from.
Nostradamus, and they had the Nostradamus predictions,
Please.
and I mean, it was so much going on to the lead up of that.
They used to throw Nostradamus into the tabloids all the time. I remember that. There's
Hey,
Custom
custom
God
guy,
joining us.
you.
And Munin never bought into the end of the world conspiracy. Listen, if the end of the world is coming, when it happens, you're going to know.
Yeah.
And nobody's going to be able to tell you. You're, when the fabric of reality rips open and you're like, whoops, I guess this is it.
I like watching them though. And just hearing what people are saying
Oh,
and
yeah.
their thoughts. Yeah, because I like watching those types of documentaries anyway. Um, like I've said before, I like a good conspiracy theory, so I like
Sure.
watching that kind of thing. And I used to watch them. I watched all of them because I wanted to hear what they were saying and just like, I don't know about that. And then it was right before that we went to Cozumel and we went to the Mayan ruins.
Yes.
And the guy, he was from there, and he was like, nothing is going to happen.
Yeah, because they know.
Yeah.
They knew about that stuff because they
Hmm.
lived down there.
Yeah.
He was like, "Don't worry, it's nothing."
Oh, Marvel #1 fan says that New Year's resolution,
Resolution. The
resolution.
revolution will not be televised.
Yeah. Um, that's a song. The revolution will not be televised. And then he just talked
Yeah.
of the revolution.
And Public
No
Enemy took
more.
a clip from that too. They took a soundbite out of that.
Did they?
Yeah.
No more pre-orders, but
Buy it
buy
afterwards
it.
for
I
less.
know.
Hey, I don't
Yeah,
blame you. It's ridiculous.
because I still got pre-orders
All
sitting
these
at
ought to be shaming a lot of people. Gilgamesh says the end of the world is profitable, so it's always nigh.
Yeah.
The end is near. William says he predicts McDonald's will end in the next 5 to 10 years.
I think Disney is gonna
Yeah,
end
Disney is the
in
one
the
that's
next five to
hurting a
ten
lot more
years.
than McDonald's
Oh,
is.
speaking of Disney, I heard that Jaden Smith
Oh no, please.
is gonna be the live action Miles Morales.
You,
I
you
thought
you
they were.
know what they could do instead? They could paint a face on a piece of wood, and it would act about as good as Jaden Smith can.
I thought Miles Morales was gonna stay in the animated universe. I thought he was made and created to be animated.
I
You
just
know what I
don't want to
mean?
see Jaden Smith doing anything because I can't stand that kid. He is
He
awful.
never did nothing to you, and you
That
never
kid
seen
is.
one movie he been
I
in.
have,
Oh yeah,
and he's
what?
not a good actor.
What you
He
saw?
was in that what is it? After Earth? Is that the one?
I know what you're talking about, but
Yeah,
I
I
never
forget the
saw it.
name of it, but it was not. It wasn't a good film anyway. So his acting is very stiff.
Oh really?
But
I know he was a Karate Kid.
uh, I also don't like all of the reports of him and his entourage going around Beverly Hills shopping centers and just bullying store owners and other people,
Oh yeah.
pushing around that his father's Will Smith.
Oh really? He
Yeah,
does that.
I've read a lot of things on him. He's a real ass. So
Mm,
whatever.
mm.
Mutant says since we're talking about predictions about the future, I predict anime will still be superior entertainment. Yeah, we saw that one coming. You and no need to pre-order, especially from Hasbro. It'll be at Ollie's, and that's what I was saying. Ollie's is putting everybody to shame because everything is turning up there. It's
Yeah.
crazy and cheaper, and you're finding it at Burlington Coat Factory, and you're finding it at although we haven't seen it
What?
at Ross.
Yeah.
Apparently, a lot of that stuff ends up at Ross. It's like, why even bother? Why even bother? John wants to know what was the worst New Year's Day memory. Mine was sitting in jail.
Wow.
Got drunk, parked, camping, fishing, sleeping on a golf course. I don't know if I was in any trouble on New Year's.
That don't mean that was the worst. I don't know what the worst was. I mean, one New Year's. when I was in the military, I was on duty.
Yeah.
But we slept on duty anyway because we had to stay at the aid station because I was in Korea, and somebody had to be in the aid station 24 hours.
Yeah.
Um, and it fell on my night, so we were all asleep, and that was actually during the Y2K, so it was rolled into 2000, and everybody called the aid station to see what was going on. I'm like, nothing. The
Nothing's going
post
on.
commander, the commander, the doctor, everybody called. I'm like, ain't nothing going on out here. I'm
If
asleep.
something happened, you'd have heard the alarm.
Yeah, you would know. I'm in the bed. I'm asleep.
Uh-huh.
After Earth was an interesting concept.
That's what Tuck says.
Mm-hmm.
And Munin says, "Isn't Jaden the one who came out wearing a dress?" Yeah, he's
Yeah,
very effeminate. He's
yeah,
very effeminate. So he does
yeah.
do that.
He wears, but then I guess some. I don't know, these actors and musicians,
They're very
the men,
strange.
they wear these dress like things. They look like dresses, I
Yeah.
guess, skirts and pocketbooks and stuff like that.
Yeah,
But
because
yeah, he was like kind of pushing that trend a
yeah,
couple of years back. I don't know what he doing, but I saw that, and I thought it was just kind of weird because I just always thought, I don't know why, but I always thought that Miles Morales character was made for
animated.
animation,
Yeah, for
and it
animation.
was going to stay there, and they were going to use Peter Parker for live action, but I guess not.
Tuck said he remembers GI Joe toy. They had a kid, a special order item, the windsurf board called the Manta. You can
Mm,
still get them for like around 30. Yeah, that was a mail order piece, the
mm,
Manta, and it was like a surfboard with an extra piece and a little sail, and it came. There was a little backpack unit you could
mm-hmm,
buy for it and break it down and put it in the backpack for easy transport.
mm-hmm,
But even in the backpack, it's like this freaking big,
mm-hmm.
and you got your little 3 3/4 inch figure with this massive backpack with like a sail and crap coming out of it, and it just didn't look right. That is extremely impractical. But yeah, it was a mail order around the same time that you could get the hooded Cobra Commander
Oh,
through the mail.
yeah. From what I'm hearing, this Jada kid better not find himself in the slammer. He'll get out
He might get
immediately.
along. Anyways, Marvel fan says he ordered his back then. The Manta was kind of bummed when I got it.
Oh
Well, to
man.
me, I didn't mind the toy so much. I had one,
Mhm.
um, which I did order myself. I didn't mind it so much, but I thought the backpack was just ridiculous.
Mhm.
It's like, what the hell is this for?
Some of the grunge kids started wearing long skirts back in the 90s. I was more
Yeah, but they
excited
wore
for
them over
Sergeant
pants
Slaughter.
though, didn't they? And they were trying to copy the kilt look, I think, which was a transference of the kilt look that was adopted by some of the late punk era.
Mhm.
Marvel fan was more excited for the Sergeant Slaughter. Yeah, Sergeant Slaughter was awesome.
Yeah, Johnny's getting ready for work.
Uh
Hey
oh, there's
Johnny.
Johnny. And who's Johnny? They said.
Who's Johnny?
Yeah, John says any new item that either of you will think will be a massive hit in 25. Oh, I don't know.
Mm-mm.
New
Not
item?
really.
Hardly.
No, not hardly. Mm-mm. Not really even looking forward to any new items. I mean, it's some stuff that I want to probably start working on.
There's your hooded
Marvel
Cobra
Cash Cow.
Commander. Your
Mm.
hooded. That is my original childhood hooded Cobra Commander that I ordered and paid for myself. It came in the mail. My original. I still got him, and he still has his emblem on his chest
Mm-hmm.
because I didn't really play with him,
Miles
not like
Morales is
that.
just another Marvel cash cow. They're going to milk him any way they can until he runs empty.
Well, nobody gave a damn about Miles Morales until the animated stuff came out, and then suddenly the comic book was worth something.
Mm-hmm.
And here is the Sergeant Slaughter. And that's also my childhood Sergeant Slaughter.
Oh, you had that as a kid?
Yeah, this is my exact one
Mm.
that I ordered, again, paid for myself and ordered through the mail. He's taking a bow there. But G.I. Joe up the leg, and he's got the staff and USA and everything. Mr. Jawline. And I tell you, Sergeant Slaughter was never this buff in real life.
Hey, Alan, how are you? Thanks for stopping by. Check out Comic Collector
Oh,
Geek.
yes.
Beautiful, beautiful, beautiful comic books. He has a channel called Comic Collector Geek. And many of you probably seen him on this channel. We've had him on several
Yes.
times doing show and tell with his books or just talking about
Comic
new,
industry.
yeah,
Yeah.
comic industry, new movies sometime, and just the way the comic book industry is going. We haven't done that in a while, but the comic book industry doesn't look like it's doing too well,
Yeah.
actually. So,
Not the mainstream stuff.
yeah, not the
Yeah.
mainstream stuff like all of the new stuff that's
Marvel and
coming out.
DC
Yeah,
seems to just keep digging their graves.
yeah, because
Gets worse.
we actually saw a bit of the trailer on Geeks and Gamers
Oh
for
God.
the new animated Spider-Man.
Friendly neighborhood Spider-Man, which is
Yeah.
supposed to be like a modern interpretation of the original show from the '60s. Ooh, no. Never mind the fact the animation looks like total
Oh
trash.
God, the
Anyways,
animation is awful.
yeah.
But seeing that, and I told David, this is why I don't like Spider-Man. Just listening to them talk, the animation, well, not so much the animation,
Hmm.
but listen to them talk, watching the Spider-Man, I mean, just like a bumbling idiot, just clumsy and all of that. But then when you read the silver in the Bronze Age Spider-Man, he's
It's
nothing like that.
much different.
He's a totally different guy, and I'm like, hey, this is not the same person.
Yeah.
And I don't know. So,
Tuck was bummed it was cool looking.
yeah.
And Munin says the only Spider-Man that matters is Peter Parker. The rest can get hit by a
But
meteorite.
the Peter, like you said, that the Peter Parker that matters is the original one.
Yeah.
Like, I don't know when he started being whatever they made that first movie out of, but from the little bit I read, and I don't read Spider-Man books, but I read he showed up in Man
Man
Thing,
thing. Yeah.
and I think that's the only book I've ever read with him in it. And he showed up a couple of times, but it was good. He made sense. He was sensible. Wasn't like this bumbling idiot always falling around and just looking stupid and like he don't know what's going on and just like falling into things. He wasn't like that. So I was like, okay, I can get behind this guy, but not whatever mess they got going on there now, especially that thing they got this new movie coming out or TV show.
Yeah. New show. Johnny wants to slap someone that says "See you next year." And Gilgamesh won a Sailor Venus from the original '95 line from
Okay,
the Irwin.
good.
Still in the box, looks to be perfect. It's the vintage line I'm going to try to complete next year. Okay.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. And Tuck says refrigerator Perry and his football grenades. Yeah, and in the advertisement, they had a commercial advertisement for it with Ben the Refrigerator Perry.
Mm-hmm.
Well, it was actually a steel football mace. It was on a chain.
Mm-hmm.
And in the animated portion of the commercial, he actually fights this version of Cobra Commander. He fights
Oh.
this version of Cobra Commander. He was never in the cartoons, just animated in the commercial.
Mm-hmm.
But then the real Ben the Refrigerator Perry comes out in the commercial dressed like the G.I. Joe character
Mm-hmm.
to introduce it because again it was a mail away thing. But just like with Sergeant Slaughter, Perry was never in the kind of shape that figure was. The figure was in much better shape.
I mean, he was a football player.
I
He
know, but
wasn't.
they made him look. Oh, here's a. Oh, that's just a hook that fell. There's the advertisement there where you mail away the coupon, and you can see the coupon behind the figure here. That red thing is the coupon to mail away for your free fridge action figure.
Yeah, Alan, I hope we can get some stuff worked out and hang out sometimes.
Yeah, sure, absolutely.
And just talk and shoot the breeze, talk about comics and pop culture, movies and stuff like that.
Mm-hmm.
Hear anything about Lego getting the Star Trek franchise?
I don't think I heard anything about that.
Mm-mm.
I know. I think Playmobil did, didn't they? And Shelby says there's a little talk. Maybe HasLab could make a classified Mobat tank. Ugh, I don't know.
I guess the absolute Spider-Man is doing well.
Is it?
I don't know.
I don't know either.
I don't know nothing about modern comic books at all. Modern comics stand on chance against manga.
So
I
we
guess.
catch up a little bit here. Marvel fan original art for comics keeps going up though, high demand, and that always cracks me up because when I used to do the shows in the '90s, those dealers would have boxes full of original art, boxes full of animation cells from from cartoon shows, and all sorts of stuff like that, and they couldn't give it away. It wasn't worth much. I mean, you could buy animation cells for like $5 a piece. Try doing that now, or even finding it. You don't even see them at shows anymore. You don't see original art at shows anymore. Nobody's out there with cases full of like just
absolutely
just art panels or pages from original comic books. Now it's not there.
No, we've never put a value not on like comic books and stuff like that. Not.
And William says the new Space Ghost comics follow the original cartoon. They're pretty good, published by Dynamite.
Oh, okay.
All right. John says it almost seems like the younger writers, directors, and producers only want to ruin all of the characters from classic comic books, TV shows, and original movies. Well, they don't know how.
Absolute DC.
They don't know how to write. They just copy. It's not original and it's not good. Basically, not good storytelling.
I don't know what you mean by copying. What are they copying?
They're copying each other.
Okay. Well, one thing I noticed. Well, let me catch up and then I'll say one.
All right.
I agree. I enjoyed McFarlane's Spider-Man books, but not much else. I am Keaton Batman all the way. Me too.
Eric Peter
hey,
says
Eric,
that.
how are you? Didn't catch the typo meant to say no chance. Yeah.
All right. Against manga.
One thing I noticed looking at the new Spider-Man trailer, because the Green Goblin is now black. So that means his son is black. He's not just black, he black and gay. So the question I asked was, are they trying to reach out to a black audience? And then you can't make a person like something. You probably can get them to watch it just to see what it's about, but you ain't gonna make them like it and get on board and start buying your books and going to your movies or watching your TV show all the time. You know what I mean? If a person don't like something, they don't like it. And if you want black characters, there are black characters. You got Asian characters, you got all of that.
They're already out there. They're just ignoring them.
Right, but you don't need to race swap people just because you ain't got nothing else to do. Just so you can say, oh, Green Lantern, I mean not Green Lantern, Green Goblin, from the time the guy began, has been this white guy, and so is his son.
Yeah.
And now all of a sudden in 2024 he black.
Yeah, and that's just that type of pandering is, I think, insulting. It's like, here, you'll watch it now because we made this person black, and it's like, well, how about you do some good storytelling and they'll watch it anyways.
I mean, I just Luke Cage was black.
Yeah, and
that was a good show.
That was well written,
right?
And so it
was well written. It was well acted. The people that wanted to see it saw it.
Yes.
The people that are not into superheroes didn't watch it because they don't like that type of thing. They don't like that type of show. Like, I'm not going to sit and watch a reality show, no Kardashians, because I don't like that. So
Yes.
I'm not going to watch it. You know what I mean? It don't matter who you put on there. Now, if you say, um, maybe one person that I like is on one episode, I might watch that one episode, and that's usually what happens. What they try to do, they'll bring in a special guest to get people to watch, but they usually only watch
Yeah.
that one episode or whatever. And the same with a
That's the curiosity watch,
yeah,
and then each additional episode, the ratings go further and further down. And you see that with a lot of these shows. Oh well, the first episode 80,000 people watched, the next one 40, the next one 29, and so on until the show just dissolves. Johnny says, haven't seen any new waves of Sesame Street reaction figures. I hope they didn't stop. I hope they make more. Well, you don't want them to crank them out too
yeah,
much.
yeah. Let them take a break.
Super 7 does way too much of that already.
Yeah,
Mutant says Nosferatu is proof directors have no idea what to do with classic franchise characters. That they're pushing an agenda doesn't help either. I don't know what the agenda was. I heard it was very gory,
yeah.
unnecessarily so, and I'm like, it's not necessary to get the point of the story across.
But then, going back to the Spider-Man just for a second, then I'm gonna move on because when this started going on like some years back, me and David talked about it, and I'm like, if you want if you want those types of characters, why don't you create new characters
Yeah,
for that instead of hijacking a well-known character? And then David's response was, because nobody read
they're
it.
not going to read it and they're not going to watch it because it's not good.
But
It's yeah.
it's not going to be good, period, if even if you hijack a well-known
Well, they think they're going to
character.
sucker people who are dedicated into watching it, which is what Disney is currently doing with the franchises they're holding, like Star Wars.
Yeah,
They're putting out trash, and but they know that no matter what happens, there are
die hard.
diehard Star Wars fans that will sit there and just hope and hope and hope. And I've made the argument before. It's like, well, it's because now that a season is only like 6 episodes or something ridiculous, that if you watch a 6 or 7 episode season and half of the episodes you don't like and half of them are okay, it's not a good show.
Yeah,
And once you realized it wasn't going to make any sense, you should have just stopped and stopped torturing yourself. You love Star Wars, stick with that original trilogy. Go watch it whenever you want to, and just ignore the new stuff and pretend it doesn't exist, because you're breaking your own heart. Eric Peter says they remember going to the New York Comic Con as a kid. Artists would have their art right on the table and you could buy the pages. Yeah. And Edwin says that I guess they didn't realize manga doesn't have color pages. No,
some of them do.
most of them are printed in black and white though. Shelby says South Park and episode Panderverse hits the nail, which I don't think we've seen that.
Nuh-uh. We'll watch an episode of somebody say, but South Park is hit and miss. You don't know which episodes you can watch and which episodes you can't.
Yeah, because
so we just quit watching them all together.
It's pretty nasty.
Yeah, unless we hear about an episode from someone, then I'll look at it. Yeah. But when it first came out, I used to have the DVDs all the way up to like season 12 or something, but I had to stop watching it about season 4 or 5. I just quit watching it because it got too bad, too vulgar and everything.
Yeah.
If people don't like the character we make, there's something wrong with you. That's their attitude,
according to Johnny.
Yeah.
And basically, and they attack you. They even get the actors going out there and attacking people for not liking things. And it's like, just be quiet. There's and I'll tell you, Michael Caine, I think it was Michael Caine, and he was on the Carson show when Johnny Carson was still the host,
Mm-hmm.
and he asked him about that because Michael Caine's done some films
Mm-hmm.
that aren't so great. He's done some that are pretty good,
Mm-hmm.
and he's done some that are not that great. And he asked him about that, and he was like, "Well," he says, "it's really simple. You know, if I was in a film that you didn't care for, you don't have to watch it." Like, well, there you go. He don't
Yeah.
care.
No.
He's not going to sit there and say, "Well, you're a fool if you didn't like this and that." Well, why are you going to argue with people?
Yeah.
They watch it or they don't. If you were in a lot of most actors are in films they're just crap.
Yeah.
You know, they do unless you're like Charlton Heston or Clint Eastwood. You probably every film that you've done isn't very good, or most of them are not that good.
But that's the society that's been created. If you don't like what I like, I'm gonna
Mm-hmm.
attack you and cancel you and darn near kill you because you don't like, what I made, what I produced, what I created. So you got to be evil, a racist, a sexist, a homophobe, whatever you can come up with. That's what you are because you don't like what I like, and that's what society is created. And
Yeah, it's like a bunch of bad kids. It's like we're in kindergarten.
yeah, sounds like
It's
these movie studios don't even know who their real comic book are.
they
That's
don't.
they no,
Reston,
I
they
think
don't.
they do know who the comic book audience is. It's like, but I really believe they want a new group to come in because the main audience is middle-aged white guys, right? The bulk,
Probably,
the
yeah,
bulk,
yeah,
the
probably.
the bulk of them. Okay, the middle-aged white guy, let's say is 40. He only got about, let's say, 40 more years to go, then he dead. You know what I mean? And everybody ahead of him is dying off. So your audience is dying off. So we got to grab some new ones. And how are we going to get some new ones in? Talk about current stuff. And we're going to use your characters and we're going to change them and we're going to mold them and shape them into
Yeah,
something else
but
that nobody likes.
but it's yeah, because it's nobody likes, including the audience that you think you're pandering to,
Yeah.
because people in society really don't want that. But we're in a place where the media is trying to convince us that we do, or to convince even this younger generation that they do, and they don't really want it either.
No.
That fringe minority that they're pandering to doesn't support them either, so that you can't even get that much. It's like that one bromance movie. That there was a movie.
Oh
Yeah,
yeah. Yeah, I
it was
remember
a
that.
I can't remember the name of it,
It
and it
was
was
a
a
romance.
gay romantic
Yeah.
comedy, and even that subculture did not
Supported.
didn't go out to bother to watch the film.
No.
They didn't. Nobody cared, and it's like, well, there you are. So stop trying to force it. Stop thinking that you're on the right side of history, because you're not, obviously,
Yeah.
and give the people what they want.
They're even race swapping man at arms and triclops. And the thing that I
Yeah,
found
William, that's right.
stupid
I saw
about
that.
that, cause God, Champ Clamp is black. What's the guy, the
The
cosmic
the
guy? That what's that cosmic?
Zodak,
Zodak is black. Man at arms friend is black. What's
the
his name? Decker?
the he's the archaeologist.
Yeah, I think his name was Decker. I
Yeah.
think I can't remember. He's black. You have black characters. Again, the people are there if you would bother. I mean, Clam Champ is not like a major character. He's not like a man at arms. Zodak. I mean, but if you're a true fan, you
Yeah.
know who the characters are.
It's not like there's a ton of white characters either, because most of the people are freaks.
That's true.
They're yellow and blue and green and all kinds
Or
of
there's some
crap.
kind of weird animal or
Yeah.
something.
Yeah,
Something.
Whiplash or Clawful or somebody.
Yeah.
It does, so it don't even matter. Yeah.
Hey, you two.
Oh,
Watching the
Brian
stream while
is here.
waiting for the ball to drop. Hey, Brian,
Glad
how
you
are
could
you?
make it, Brian. Edwin didn't purchase, just looked at the manga.
Oh, okay.
as we move along here, try to
Hmm.
catch up. Oh, display name is here. It
Hey,
says
display
celebrate
name.
what you love, ignore what you dislike. Pretty much. That's it.
Yeah.
That's it. John says modern film studios are so heavily invested in pushing all of the nonsense into their movie shows, comic books, which is why so many people are getting turned off.
Yeah.
And they haven't hemorrhaged enough money yet, basically.
I don't know how they cannot have hindered enough money. I mean, Disney by itself, I don't know how many TV shows they came out with in 2024, but I've seen a few of the of the reviews of them, and it seemed like it's a lot. I know they had Star Wars, and then they had that Agatha something another, and they had others, and they were all bad. And then they had movies, and the movies lost millions of dollars.
Yeah.
Um, so I don't know how they cannot be turning a profit. How can they be turning a profit to the point where they're open? Is the theme parks carrying them?
I don't know. Because they're losing money and it's not they're not fixing it. It's not catching up. I don't know how much longer they can sustain it.
Creating a good character takes talent. Modern writers, directors, and so on don't have that. That's true.
Says Gilgamesh.
Yeah.
And Munin said at this point Star Wars is dead, and with Disney at the helm, it's not coming back. And Lord of the Ring, even the new cultural phenomenons like Lord of the Rings and Harry Potter are getting trashed. Tuck says I'm not fanatical that way. If the story writing, art, animation, acting, whatever sucks, it sucks. The more I like a brand or franchise, the more disappointed I'll be, and I'll go do something else.
Now and I'll say this. Okay, the first time I was introduced, and I've said this before, the first time I was introduced to Swamp Thing was the 2019 TV show.
Okay.
The first time I was introduced to Swamp Thing, and I liked it.
Mhm.
I thought it was well written. I thought it was well acted. I did not like the Abby character. She was just insufferable. But all in all, the Swamp Thing character was interesting, and all of those little side characters and those side stories were good.
Uh huh.
And then David was like, "Oh, they ain't got nothing to do with Swamp Thing, nothing." And then I actually read the book, and I'm like, "Whoa, that's like far removed what the Swamp
The
Thing
book is
character."
so much better. Yeah.
Yeah, the book was better because the character wasn't different, but I could take that because the story was good.
Mm-hmm.
It wasn't pushing an agenda. Well, they had the one girl, but she wasn't significant character, and she wasn't in the book at all, so she didn't matter. But the story was good, the acting was good. Plus, again, it was the first time I ever seen or heard of Swamp Thing. Now, if I had read the book before and knew all about Swamp Thing like I do now, I probably wouldn't have watched it, or I wouldn't have liked it.
Mm-hmm.
So I guess in saying all that, I'm guessing they're going on, well, the people that we're targeting don't know these characters, never heard of them before. The person we reaching out to never heard of Green Goblin or whoever else, whatever else, Man at Arms and all of that. So we can just present them with something new,
Mm-hmm.
and
Maybe.
hopefully it just picks up.
Well, they throw it against the wall and see what sticks.
Yeah. Why don't we all just admit it? The good
Good
days are gone. The world is a zoo now.
That's
Yeah.
Axel says that.
And I agree with you.
Munin said hurling names at the audience is a sure way to lose them quicker. Attacking your audience.
Yeah.
Yeah, you want to work again? I guess not. Bjorn says the new artists as good as the original artists because they're dying off too.
Yeah.
Well, I mean, hey, they're all doing digital renderings now. They're really the interior, especially interior artwork on comics, does not compare to what we grew up with at all.
No.
Tuck, I wonder if they think they can just throw away the current fan base of a franchise and forge a new and equally loyal one. Sure looks that like that doesn't work to me. It's not working. They're not getting a new audience.
Mm-mm. They ain't getting nothing.
Gilgamesh says it's ironic people that whine the most about diversity on TV are actually the most narrow-minded people in society. They expect conformity to only their mindset.
Yeah.
Yeah, pretty much. That is about how that works. Oh, Thor Anacosta has joined us.
Hey, Thor, how are you?
Glad you could make it.
Yeah. The sad part is that even in the new year, these companies will keep doing the same thing that chased away the fan base in the first
And that's
place.
Munin.
Yes. It's like, what's next? A transgender Darth Vader who has a relationship with the Chewbacca while Princess Leia is changing her ethnicity into a Chinese Muppet. Who
Yeah.
knows? I mean,
There you
they're
go,
doing
John.
anything.
Eric says he feels everyone's waiting to see how bad the $500 million Snow White will bomb.
Ooh.
Nobody wants
Five
to see
hundred
that.
million dollars is what they're paying for that?
Nobody wants to see that. Nobody's going to see that. It was already in trouble before they started.
Well, when she opened her mouth to say that they were changing it and it was weird and all of this stuff, she said, like, before production was even started. It's like you hurt yourself. Put the show in to the disarray that it's in. All you had to do is keep your mouth closed and say, "Yeah, I'm excited about this new Snow White movie. We're doing some new things to freshen it up a little bit. Can't wait to see what's going to happen." And close your mouth. No, we got to keep talking. It's so weird and blah blah blah. So you shot your own self in the
And
foot.
then insulted the original story,
Yeah.
which is the film that made Disney,
Mm-hmm.
because that was the first colorized animated film, and it was a big deal for them, and there was a lot. It was a labor of love. They had as many as 28 overlaid animation cells for moving sequence in that. That's an incredible amount of work to get that all to roll together properly, and you don't insult that. You don't insult that.
The new Snow White is gonna fail. They say the prince stalking a woman and sexually assaults her and no real little people. But they've been saying that about Snow White for years. But I don't know why Disney feel like every cartoon they've ever made needs to be a live action film. They're gonna do a live action Bambi next. They did the Lion King. They did the Lion
That didn't
King.
go
They
well.
did Mufasa.
Also, it's a lack of understanding of cultural differences between different eras. And that's a common mistake that's made by people in the modern era, to not see things from the perspective of the time period. Uh, the reason that the prince kisses Snow White is because in that time period you would kiss someone in their coffin.
Mm-hmm.
You know, it makes sense, but it snapped her out of it.
Mm-hmm.
But you can't. It's like, even if you watch like the original Family Feud
Richard
with
Dawson.
Richard Dawson, he kisses everybody.
Yeah.
He kisses everybody because
On the
in the
match
early
game.
in the 60s and 70s, that was a thing.
Yeah.
You come up to say, "Hey, how you doing?" Give him a peck.
He kissed those women on the mouth.
Male to female, you know what I mean.
Yeah, I
But
know.
that was a very common thing. If you watch that now, it's like, oh my god, what the hell's going on? Well, I don't know. Why don't you research a little history and see what culture was like in the 50s, 60s, and 70s, and
But
before you judge.
no, I didn't say that. Go ahead. If you take away
Oh,
the tax
please
write off, Edwin says, if you take away the tax write off, um, would a movie studio still be better off? I don't know.
probably not. And Axel said if the studio mind's losing millions on a movie, it's a win because it's the cheapest propaganda ad campaign ever.
I guess.
Maybe. And oh wow, we're
We
2 minutes. We're 2 minutes to
the new year.
thing. Oh, we don't need to read all
Oh,
of them.
okay. I was just
We could
trying to.
just catch a few. We could just catch up a little bit there.
Yeah.
Dirt Nap is here.
Hey, Dirt Nap, how are
Glad you
you?
could make it.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, we're what 2 minutes in about 2 minutes or less than 2 minutes.
And Turk wants to know,
It's
have you found the parts to your whale?
no. No, I haven't even had time to look. I haven't even had time to look or worry about it.
Hey, display name, how are
So
you?
we'll see how that all goes. We'll
Mm-hmm.
see how that all goes. But yeah, now it's a minute. We have
Mm-hmm.
1 minute to go, and then we will listen. We will listen and see if we can hear anything. Probably not. Johnny Future says, "Don't hold back, LPH. Say what's on your mind." No, we just needed to get ahead. We just need to get ahead because we were way behind there. Um, as far as like comments and all the rest of it, we try to acknowledge everybody. We
Yeah,
do try to acknowledge
because
everybody.
we want to
Hmm.
have a lively conversation and
Yeah.
not a one-way conversation or one-sided. So we like to get everybody's thing and then comment on it and go, oh, custom guy still got 3 hours to
Oh
go.
no.
Oh well, you can say
Yeah.
Happy New Year's. It's midnight on our computer, so
Party hats.
we see
Oh,
quite
that's it. That's it. It's midnight.
lots of booms here. Yes.
I can hear the fireworks.
Oh, you can.
I can hear it.
Mm, mm,
But
mm, mm, mm.
it's not too
For
bad.
over half an hour.
Half an hour. You should have been here all week. Gilgamesh says the dog is laying her head on the leg. She hates fireworks. Most animals don't like
Yeah,
that.
they don't like none of that
It's
noise.
unnatural to them.
Yeah, and then it's scary.
Hmm.
You got all of that noise going on
Yeah.
and whatever have you. So they don't want to hear that mess.
No, I don't blame.
Mm-hmm.
Besides, it's past their bedtime.
I have made New Year's for 6 hours. Doll base has been in the New Year's for
There you
six
go.
hours. Oh
Now
boy.
you happy? You happy? I have my
See
hat.
you next year. Now please slap me.
Okay. We'll save one for you, Johnny. We'll save one for
And
you.
then when you go to work tomorrow or the day or whatever, or whenever you go back, man, I haven't seen you since last year.
Oh no! Don't do that. Please don't do that to people. And if and you hear that from like, what's really bad? When you work in something akin to customer service, and
Mm.
that sort of thing happens. Like when I was way back in the day when
Hey, nerd.
Nerd is here, joined the Happy New Year. Thank you.
Mm-hmm.
When I was a cashier at like Store 24 and Cumberland Farms and stuff in the early or late 80s, early 90s, when it's New Year's, if you're working, you'll hear that all night. That was a gun.
Mm.
But you'll hear that all night. It'll be like um, it'll be like 300 people will say that to you, and that'll really start to annoy you.
Oh boy. Here we go
Hmm.
with that.
Where's my tribute? Where is my tribute?
Yeah, but I hope 2025, and I don't hold out a lot of hope, but I hope it brings us better entertainment. But I don't really care too much because I don't go to the movies and I rarely watch anything new on TV. I did watch a modern TV show called Teacup. It's a TV show. It comes on Peacock. And it's not bad. It's some kind of alien come to Earth and they
Oh
got
yeah.
these people trapped on this farm and stuff.
Oh my
It's
god.
actually not it's actually not bad. The concept is okay, and the people are working things out,
Hmm.
and there's all kind of secrets and stuff that's coming out and everything, and the alien can transform itself from one person to the next. So, um, all of that's going on. It's actually not so bad.
and she started watching Ultra Force from Malibu Comics.
Yeah.
Man, they are plowing through that.
Well, it's only like what,
Oh,
8 episodes, something like that.
13.
Though 13
It's an
episodes.
old Saturday morning thing, kind of like Wildcats. Wildcats was the same problem. They blew through it.
Oh yeah.
It's like, let's get like 2 years worth of comics into 13 episodes as fast as we possibly can.
Yeah.
It's like, oh my god, and the animation's not great. It's really choppy.
Mm-hmm.
Tuck is hearing a lot of fireworks right now. They
Mm.
won't know if it's gunfire unless it's close.
Have to work at the store today. I'll say that. I'll say that to my regular customers. I haven't seen you since last year.
Oh god. Oh no, don't do that. Munin says the tribute is the wonderful
No.
advice of watch more anime. No. No more anime. I I
Yeah.
have I've got stuff lined up. We just don't have time for it. Not yet. It's when the shows that we normally watch open up, then
Mm-hmm.
we can add something else. Like I've got the Voltron,
Yeah.
I've got the Robotech, I've got the Gatchaman, and some other classics.
Mm-hmm. But we're not gonna just cram stuff in. Like I
No.
started watching some other shows because we was off all week, and then I could just fill them up. And like we watch The Phantom 2040, and I watch that almost every day, like 2 episodes a day, and I just throw that into a slot like when we're in between something else that we're not watching. If I don't want to listen to the radio, I might watch an episode or two of that, and that's really good. A really good show to watch or to get into. Um, the Phantom is kind of annoying at times because as you're watching it, he's causing a lot of the problems. Sometimes if he would just leave things alone, it wouldn't be so bad. But he's
Mm-hmm.
trying so hard to help out and be useful. He kind of getting in the way sometimes. But Happy New Year, Axel Foley.
Yeah, he says, I'm glad there's still some sane people in the world. You're talking to a guy wearing a crown.
I forgot about Bobcats cartoon. I
Yeah,
saw only
Tuck
one
forgot about
episode.
it. Yeah, I would say it's not that great.
Oh,
Yeah,
yeah.
bad choppy animation. It's too loud, and because audio continuity is important too.
Mm-hmm.
And then they they rushed through it so fast,
Mm-hmm. They did.
so fast.
If
Yeah.
they had took their time with it and slowed it down and spent more time developing the characters or at least the plot and what was going on, you probably would like it better. I liked it the way it was. I mean,
Mm-hmm.
it was fine for what it was,
Yeah.
but you got to read the comics to really kind of know what's going on.
William got their first kitty snuggle for the new year. Oh, there you go.
Mm,
Nothing wrong with that. Marvel fan says in the heat of the night
I
is
thought it
fun.
was. David hated it.
It started to wear on my nerves, especially Althea. I couldn't stand her character. Doll base, it says we'll be sane.
Why be
Why be
sane?
sane when the world is crazy? Yeah, I get your point. Mutant says, have you guys caught Street Fighter Assassin's Fist? Remember, it's free on YouTube. No, we have not seen that.
Mm-mm.
We have not seen that.
Grab an 80s whistle and start blowing it for us.
An 80s whistle?
Mm-hmm.
Do I have an 80s whistle?
I don't know. Hey,
Altreon Kaiju.
oh,
It says Happy New Year's. It's been a minute. Yes, it has.
yes.
No, I have a Piccolo. I have a Burger King, a vintage Burger King prize, which is a Piccolo.
Mm.
For anybody who knows what a Piccolo is, and I have the Hasbro Ronald McDonald that comes with a whistle, but I'm not going to open it. I also have a Tasty Freeze rocket whistle, but that's sealed.
What's your plans for action figure hunting in 2025?
Oh God, I don't even know. Because again, just like always, it's for me target of opportunity.
Mm.
So,
But I mean, do you have anything that you would like to start, and then if that target of opportunity jumps up, you'll grab it,
Oh,
or just something you would like to start.
something new.
Yeah,
Maybe
that you might want to start.
maybe MASH,
Oh, okay.
the TriStar MASH figures
Mm-hmm.
that they tried to piggyback onto the Ara era GI Joes. This is basically what they are. They think, oh yeah, MASH GI Joe makes perfect sense. Like little kids are watching MASH. That's why so many of them are available on the card now.
Mm.
That playset is tough to find though.
Oh, really?
Yeah, the playset's pretty tough to find, and the Klinger in drag figure, because there's two versions of Klinger, and the one in with him wearing the pink outfit, it's not rare at all, but
Mm.
people will charge like an outrageous price for it anyways because they
Mm.
can. I think there's only 3 vehicle sets. There's like a Jeep, an ambulance, and a helicopter,
Mm-hmm.
and then the play set, and then your however many figures, and then there's a couple of 4 packs
Oh,
that are
okay.
pretty rare.
Mm.
Gilgamesh says Savage Dragon cartoon was pretty bad too. 2 Spawn was all right, but I think Max was the only real good image animation that they've seen. I never
Mm.
saw the Max. And Mutant says Piccolo from Dragon Ball Z. No, no,
No.
no, not that Piccolo. Marvel says he's excited for the ROM Marvel Legends figure that's coming.
Oh, okay.
All right. Marvel fan watches MASH on Me TV every night. Some people don't like it. Some people do. This is a Piccolo.
Hey, Lou, how are you? Happy New Year.
Hey, there's Lou. No, not King Friday. King every day. That is a Piccolo, and this one is
Oh,
shaped like a pickle. And I don't know how well you can see it. That circle right there is the Burger King stamp because this is a vintage Burger King prize.
Gilgamesh got one too.
Yep.
Uh-uh.
Here, there
You
go them.
mean the musical instrument that Dragon Ball Z? Okay.
Yeah. Now you can hear it. Those are the mortars now.
Who makes the best GI Joe figurines?
Who? What do you mean? Do you mean which era, or do you mean in the modern era? Because Hasbro's always made them, but now Hasbro has franchised out, and
Mm-hmm.
so Sideshow has made them, 3-Zero has made them, Super 7 has made them, and so on. But they originally, and I like most of what the Hasbro has done. The '60s Fighting Man, the '70s Adventure Team. They also did the Muscle Body, which didn't hold up well.
Mm.
They fall apart. And the Super Joe, which is an 8-inch version to compete with Mego, but those also fall apart. The jointing is it dissolves. It's like this rubberized jointing, and it dissolves. It's terrible.
Mm.
And then you have the Raw era, and then you had the Sergeant Savage era, which they blew them up to 5 inches, which were actually pretty decent figures.
Mm-hmm.
And then you have GI Joe Extreme, which was trash. Axel says the movie company responsible for James Bond is at loggerheads with the lady who owns the rights. She called them idiots for wanting Bond to become a woman. Yeah.
Well,
Let's just keep changing everything.
they made that guy you like so much a woman, and then they made him a man.
Doctor Who.
Yeah, they made him a woman, and then they
Yeah.
made him a man, and
Yeah, they made him a black guy, and they did
yeah,
all sorts of things to Doctor Who.
and then people just quit watching.
Yeah, and then they wonder why Doctor Who's franchise is almost completely destroyed. There's nobody watching that stuff now.
Cause that's all. I mean, I understand you got diehards out there,
Mm-hmm.
but when those diehards got to say, you know what, enough's
There's
enough.
a point.
There's a line in the sand, and y'all have crossed it. I'm not watching no more, and turn that mess off. You know.
And again, for me, the doctors I grew up with have always been my favorite, and that's John Pertwee and Tom Baker. And I'd be happy to just go back and rewatch those. I don't need to see the rest of it. I don't even care.
Yeah.
Nerd thinks modern anime is struggling to find new direction.
Mm.
Oh, you're gonna start something.
Oh gosh, you're gonna have Gilgamesh and K Munin fighting. Those be fighting words in their book.
Tuck says modern statuettes rather than action figures. My brother has a nice Snake Eyes. Well,
Ooh.
Prime One Studios did some good stuff. And I've got the Prime One Studio Serpentor, which is a really nice statue. Um, and then Lou wants to know if the crown is vintage. I
I
don't
don't
know.
know. We
I
got
don't
it
know how
from
old it
Value
is. Yeah,
Village.
I found it at Value Village.
Yeah, we found it at Value Village a couple months ago.
Yeah.
Um, so I don't know if it's vintage or not, but we
Yeah.
saw it and he put it on in Value Village and then we got it.
I was like, yes, it fits. It fits. Who would have thought? You see my
Yeah.
Santa back there, Lou. He's watching you very carefully.
I
He
know
told me.
because they made Matlock a woman and I don't
Oh God, yeah.
understand. I never watched it to see how that played out because of course Matlock was Ben Matlock and he did have a daughter. So but I'm wondering, is she supposed to be the daughter?
Is she a ninja too? Does she do backflips and like shoot people behind her back? Like, they remember they did that to the Equalizer too. They made
Oh
Equalizer a
God.
black woman. It's like Queen Latifah. Here's like
Yeah.
60-year-old Queen Latifah, all 300 pounds of her, doing backflips off of like porch balconies and machine gunning people and stuff. Like, yeah, right. Come on. Gilgamesh says not only did they destroy Doctor Who, they brought back the best of the new doctors just to insult him in the show and talk down to him.
Oh
I don't know
no.
because I don't watch it anymore. I haven't watched it in a long time. Tuck says Prime One Studios got it. Thank you.
Prime One Studios makes some
They
nice
they
statues.
do.
I have a couple of their things. Prime One, XM Studios, Queen Studios. They cost, but you can see where your money went. They actually make some really nice statues. It's good quality. Um, I never had a problem with any of the statues I have. David has one. I know I have a few,
Yeah,
but
that's the only statue I have is the one she gave me.
yeah. They should fight back and put a man in as the new Murder She Wrote.
Oh yeah.
Yeah. See how that goes.
No, two dudes that look like Stallone and Schwarzenegger as Kate and Allie.
Arnold Schwarzenegger and Stallone as
Yeah.
Kate and Allie.
There you go.
Who were the two women? Okay, because Kate and Allie were the detective. No, that was Cagney and Lacey were the detectives.
Yes.
Kate and Allie were the two roommates that had an apartment together. I know one of them was divorced.
Oh, okay.
I don't know if both of them were divorced, but I know one of them was, and they both had daughters. That was Kate and Allie. Cagney and Lacey were the two female detectives, and you
Okay.
should race and gender swap them all.
Mm-hmm. Two Chinese bodybuilders that look like Bolo Young. That's what they should do.
King by chance.
Absolutely.
David says doll base.
And King of Kings is their great grandmother used to watch Matlock, loved the intro music. It's a fun show. It's
We
okay.
were watching it for a while up until what, season 3, then we kind of just dropped off a little bit.
Gilgamesh likes an anime called Dan to Dan.
Oh, okay.
And oof. William says I have a big classic Doctor Who DVD collection of all 8 classic Doctors.
Pluto has a Doctor Who channel.
Yeah, but you're not going to see it's inconsistent because I've tried to watch that before and they're not even consistent between the chapters. Because they're in like 2, 4, 6, and even 8 chapter segments where all those episodes are one story. And if you're missing those and you jump to another chapter, then you're screwed.
Oh, I guess. Advice: I'm torn on my Squirrel Girl something another. Should I sell it or keep it?
Kodabukaya. And if you like it, keep it.
Yeah, I know that's right. Unless you need the money, then you don't have a choice.
Axel says Tom Baker is my Doctor Who, just like Roger Moore is my James Bond. Okay, fair enough. And he did a good job as James Bond. Sylvian, entertainment is now about tackling all the woke boxes. Or tacking all the woke boxes, they say.
I don't know. It's getting to be a bit much with all that because it's like, when are you gonna stop? When does it stop? And it's like what we've had this conversation before. You got to protest with your money, making YouTube videos, putting up posts and complaining and all of that. Nobody cares, nobody reads it, nobody watches it. The only way to truly protest is with your wallet, with your pocketbook.
Yeah.
um don't watch the movies, don't watch the show, don't buy the figures, don't buy the book, whatever it is, don't support it. You don't have to say a word, just don't watch it, don't buy it, whatever it is. Just that's the only way to truly protest, because they don't care how many YouTube videos you make, because you'll say the movie is good, five other channels will tell you how bad it is. So the only way you'll know for sure is to go watch it yourself.
Yeah.
Because everybody had to watch it. But that's not the truth. I was gonna say everybody had to watch it to making a video. But I've watched enough reviews to know everybody didn't watch it because they say the exact same thing over and over and over again. They just make videos.
Yeah.
But yeah, you got to just not support it.
Custom says that Doctor Who was one of their favorite shows, and they can't watch it now because the old stuff was ruined for them.
I didn't like it. I watched it with a couple of episodes with David. I couldn't get into it. I just thought it was stupid. I couldn't get into it.
William says all 7 classic Doctors plus the TV movie was the 8th Doctor.
Mm.
And then Andorian says
Hey,
if Doctor
Andorian.
Who randomly switches bodies, wouldn't it make sense eventually he'd end up in a woman or a black man? No.
Why?
That's outside the continuity of the function of the of how that works. The reason that they originally started doing it was to explain why they couldn't hold on to the original actor, because he had a heart condition or something happened to him, and so they went through that transformation period.
Mm-hmm.
Your body is basically, it's like a phoenix syndrome. Your body, it breaks down and reforms. So you're not going to reform into something else or someone else. You just look different, but you're still the same person.
Yeah, but that's like the concept of what was that guy, the TV show in Quantum Leap?
No. Quantum Leap was jumping into other people's bodies temporarily, or he was swapping places with them temporarily, but he still looked like that person to everyone else. You saw him as himself. But so they would swap, and then he'd go, and then they would go back. But with Doctor Who, it's like his body breaks down and reforms. It's not going to change its general makeup as being male. So it wouldn't make, it's out of continuity that he would wake up one day as a girl.
Yeah, but then okay, I understand that, but I know
Mhm.
like James Bond, because you had explained it to me, like when they said they were going to make James Bond a woman, and then you said that anybody can be James Bond. You remember we had that conversation?
No.
Now you don't remember.
No.
Yes, Pluto is putting episodes in the randomizer.
Randomizer says Lou. But yeah, the with James Bond, I mean, James Bond was originally written to be a male character. It's not like James Bond is not a title. They don't. They didn't. 007 is the title. That's his moniker.
Mm-hmm.
That's his classification. But his name is James Bond.
Are you serious? Arnold's got another Terminator in him. He will return as a T-800 in Terminator 7.
Said Axel
Final
Foley.
War. Oh, come
They're
on.
not going to fix it. They should have stopped with the second one. Dollbase says each time you create buzz around it. Yeah, that's true too.
Yeah.
And there's Dr.
Hey,
Cohen.
Dr. Cohen, how are you?
Says he's too old to be up this time of night. Shame on you. Go to bed. The Raccoon says, I never watched Doctor Who. Does he solve crimes? What with the phone booth? Does the modern doctor use a phone booth? Yeah, it's an old police call box on the outside, but it's a dimensional rift. And so the inside is larger than the outside because it's a time traveling device. And he's kind of like if you could imagine Columbo could travel through time.
So he is a
He's a
detective?
detective.
Oh, okay.
He solves problems, fixes things.
I saw a
Yeah.
couple episodes. I couldn't get into it. It was stupid because I didn't know what he was doing, why he was there, who those people were. And, it was, I know it's supposed to be like a fake scene, but it was like too fake of a scene. You know what I mean? I just couldn't get into it. I didn't like it.
Yeah.
Gilgamesh says it wasn't the Doctor Who changed sex or race so much as that bothered it. It was the forced agenda that went along with it, and the fact that they
Retconned him to
retconned
say
him.
he was originally a black girl. What?
Or originally?
Really?
Oh, really?
Really? That's
Oh,
crazy.
they went way up in there.
Yeah, it's not so much that they do it, but the reason why, basically. And William doesn't understand why they let new stuff ruin the old stuff. Yeah, like I know the modern Star Wars stuff is garbage. I don't need to see it. I'll just watch the original.
Yeah, because you got it on
And
DVD.
I'm fine. I'm fine with that. I don't need to. Axel says vote with your wallet. A full blown boycott.
Yeah, that's the only thing that works. That's the only way people will listen. If you don't buy it, you don't purchase it, you don't support it, you don't watch it. Making a YouTube video, putting up Facebook posts and Twitter posts
Mm-hmm.
don't do nothing.
No, no. Gilgamesh said they had no need to change Doctor Who's whole backstory and didn't need to for identity politics. Just pick an actor and make some good stories. You would hope. And Raccoon says he solves crimes from other timelines. Yeah, and other planets because it's
Oh God.
time and space travel. So he'll go to another world, but it's a major thing. It's not just like who shot Jr. It's something that could affect the entire planet usually. DC says Biff Bang Pow Migo like retro figures was a great line. The Dalek and dog are hard to find. K9. Yeah.
Those are expensive. Those Doctor Who Migos. I mean, Big Bang Pow.
The Doctor Who Meagles are expensive too.
Yeah.
Because they were made by Harbo and by Palitoy in the UK and in Italy, and they're very expensive. Everything from that set, including the TARDIS, because they made that, and all it is a box. But that stuff is very expensive, very hard to find, almost impossible to find in the box.
Hey, Link.
Oh, Link has joined us.
Mm-hmm.
But I do have a doctor. But the reason that I have the Doctor Who is because he's the most common. They so this is the one that you're the most likely to find, and this is the Harbert one. The one you see, it's not in English; it's in Italian. This is the one that was made in Italy by Harbert Toys, and the Palitoy did it for the UK, but this is a Mego product. And then on the back, that's everything that they made. The Dalek, the Cyberman, Leela, you see there, Super Robot, and then of course the TARDIS police box cabinet. Again, the Doctor is the easiest one to find, even loose, easiest one to find out of the whole list.
Any Neon Genesis Evangelion fans out there? I don't even know what that means. So I know I'm not a fan. Is there any value in Austin Power?
Austin Power figures? I don't think so. I don't think. Yeah.
Hey, Stone Sour.
Oh, Stone Sour has joined us. You're late, Stone Sour. We've been on for 6 hours.
Oh God,
no, we haven't. We don't pull those kind of marathons. It's the Austin Power figures. It's out there with, like, for example, if you wanted to get Conehead figures, they're still dirt cheap. Stuff like that is. I don't think they're very expensive at all.
Lou had that unopened. They found an unopened case in '99 for
Wow.
$125. He had it, but it's gone now.
Yeah, there you go, Lou.
In the wind.
Congratulations. You know, Custom God says, too bad Migo Doctor wasn't an 8-inch figure. No, he's a little taller. He's like in the same scale as the.
All right, William.
Oh, William's got to go. He's in the same scale, I think, as the Migo Flash Gordon figures.
Oh,
But
okay.
those are carded, of course. But
Mm-hmm.
those are like closer to 9-inch. The little out of scale. Or maybe Doctor Who's just tall.
Oh, okay. So it's a
Evangelion,
anime.
Evangelion is a legendary anime that we would like, says Munin. And Lou
Oh, he
sold it.
sold
He
it.
sold it for $5.
Oh
Oh,
God.
shame on you, Lou. I don't know what we're
I
gonna do
bet you
with
it's
you.
worth a bunch now.
Yeah, any of those is worth quite a bit. Like I said, especially when you get to like Cybermen and stuff like that, some of the more obscure figures, they get to be more and more expensive. The
Mm,
Doctor is the most common, so he's gonna be the cheapest out of the bunch, but even he's expensive.
okay. Dr. Cyberpunk Pop
Park
Theater.
Theater.
Thank you, Stone
Stone
Sour.
Sour made a
New
donation to
Year
the channel
Kitty.
for our feline friends. We appreciate it. We need all the help we can get with them.
Yeah, I got some Flash Gordon, Migo Flash Gordon
No,
figures. What?
you have the Mattel
Oh, I'm sorry.
Flash Gordon
Yeah, I got
figures,
something.
the 1/18th scale Flash
Mm-hmm.
Gordon figures, but not the Meagle. The Meagles are 9 inches.
Okay, I don't have that.
No. Link said the anime of the year is 2025. Let's wait for the third impact.
What's the third impact?
That anime that they were talking about, it's supposed to take place this year.
Okay.
Gilgamesh said they retconned Doctor Who to say he was originally a black girl who isn't a Time Lord, but was tortured by a Time Lord to learn how to regenerate. That's how they got the power. He forgot all of that. Oh, please. He just forgot all of that. So all of that, all those times where he went to Gallifrey and they knew who he was, and or they called on him, or the White Guardian would call on him because he was in need of the help of a Time Lord. That just didn't matter. So they erased like 60 years of history, essentially.
Just to explain why. Oh God.
Wow.
I
That's
have
what they do. That's what they do nowadays. That's what they do. It's insane. Nerd says they have a very worn Mego Cyberman. Hey, I mean, that you even have one is amazing.
Okay. You're telling me what that
Because
means.
they're very expensive, very tough to come by. John says had to restart the laptop, got froze on here. Happy New Year's, everyone. Well, you
Thank
made
you.
it.
Yeah. You made it to 2025.
You made it. You're
32
still
minutes
here.
in.
It's all right. The meteors haven't struck yet.
The bombs haven't fallen yet.
Yeah. Axel is eating homemade hot dogs with Turkish rolls and spicy sauce.
Okay. While
Really?
watching this broadcast.
Watching better than trash on TV. I hope so. I hope so.
We try to
As
make
we
the
share some.
experience fun.
Yeah, I mean, just sort of reach out and share with some of the people that watch the channel.
Family friendly.
Yeah, family friendly content. No vulgarity and no excessive cussing and
No agenda pushing.
no politics. All of
Yeah.
that. Just try to stay away from it because
Yeah.
you're surrounded by it constantly, and they're all beating you over the head with it. You need a break someplace.
I know that's right. For the
Golly,
little bit of time we got
you
together,
don't
let's
have.
talk about something
You've
else.
got what, 4 of the Mattel
Yeah.
Flash Gordon figures.
Hmm.
Those are tough to find
Yeah,
too.
it is.
Those are
And
very
they
hard to find.
cost.
Yeah, they're expensive. She got lucky because she found somebody that had a bunch at one of the shows
Yeah.
and was able to finagle a deal for them. Able to finagle a deal. Gilgamesh says they finished watching the new Evangelion movie series last year. They did like it better than the original series.
Okay.
And Dr. Coing says Big Bang Pow Mego Retro Battlestar Galacticas are crazy expensive,
Mm.
especially Athena and Lucifer, the last one's issues. That yeah, and it's the same thing with like because I've got the Battlestar Galactica. I've only got the first wave sitting up here, you know, with the Mattel's first wave of figures. They're actually on the rack right here. Although that's the dark orange Daggett because there's two versions. There's a light colored version that matches the proper color better,
Yeah.
and I don't have that. But that's the first wave. But the second wave that has Lucifer and that has Boltar and the gold Cylon and all of that, much more expensive
Mm.
because, of course, the line was canceled when that kid killed himself, shot himself in the mouth with that rocket and choked on it. Um, they canceled the toy, and then without the revenue from those toys, they canceled the show, so it never got a second season. So second wave of this, I've got the first wave, but finding that second wave, you don't even really see them. I mean, you rarely ever see any of these
Shows.
at the shows, anyways. You really don't see them. I did see the light colored Daggett at a show at the last Joe Fest,
Mm-hmm.
which is the first one I've seen in like a year of the Battlestar line at all. And he wanted way too much for it. I was like, nah. He was like, well, I can do this for it, and it's like, I could get it for half that on eBay. No, we're not doing that. Stone Sour said this is a safe zone.
Yep. That's what we try to do.
Yeah.
Isn't that hard to beat trash on TV? I
No,
know
doll,
that's
it
right.
isn't. Link says anybody saw Sonic 3 movie? No,
I
we didn't
think
see it.
I think K Munan's seen it because he's talked about it a couple of times. I believe he
Yep.
saw it. I think he said he saw it. Dollbay says I have never seen that movie, but
Evangelion.
yeah, Evangelion had it the signal in my old cell phone. Okay.
And Nerds has all of the Battlestar Galactica Mattel spaceships in both rocket firing and fixed.
Oh
Wow,
wow.
that's pretty cool.
Mm.
Yeah, I don't have any of the vehicles. I just have the first wave of figures carded, but all of mine are unpunched.
Mm-hmm.
So it's a real clean set. And that puts you in a box with me, anyways, because I get weird about that. Because, like, my Mego Buck Rogers also, because I've got those right here also within arm's reach. It's funny how that works out.
Mm-hmm.
My Mego Buck Rogers, all of these are unpunched. And I still need Buck and Tweaky. I've got everybody but Buck and Tweaky, but if I find them, now they're going to have to be unpunched too because all of these are.
That doesn't make a
It does make sense.
Not to me.
It makes perfect freaking sense. But the same thing, if I go and get the second wave of the Battlestar, I'm going to want those to be unpunched too because I get crazy about that kind of stuff.
Only Battlestar Galactica land ram missing, says Nerd.
Oh, okay.
He needs the land ram.
And then, of course, there's the two deluxe figures, the two 12-inch figures that are just recastings of Captain Laser from Major Matt Mason, who makes no freaking sense because he's like a 12-inch plastic action figure with a light up feature. You put batteries in his backpack, and then Major Matt Mason are a bunch of 8-inch bendies.
Okay.
Or 6 inches. They're 6 inches.
Nerd has the carded Tweaky.
Ah, figures. Yeah, I need Tweaky and Buck to complete the figures, but I don't have the vehicles. I don't have the vehicles. And I've only got 2 of the deluxe figures, and that's the Buck and the Tweaky. But no, I have 3. Because who is that up there? Drago. Oh, who they cut out of the film. They made the figure for him anyways, but he was cut out of the movie completely.
K Munin says this Jax made the Sonic 3 figures, and they're extremely well made for the price of $15, better than a lot of the higher end brands.
Okay. Interesting.
Oops, that's good stuff, David. Unpunched cars are tough to find and afford.
Yeah, Lou. If I find great prices, I find really great deals, or else I'd be screwed because there's no way I could afford it. Dr. Cohen said I picked up a loose light Daggett, Ovion, and Imperious Leader. The rest are impossible to find. Never see them at the shows, especially carded. Yeah, you don't see them.
No, you got to go on
A
eBay.
lot of the stuff that I have, that's the one thing. And then what you do see a lot of, you actually do see a lot of carded a raw GI Joe and carded Kenner Star Wars, and they want a fortune for them. But then all of this other stuff, you can't find it.
Mm-hmm.
You don't see this stuff. You ever see any Remco McDonald's at the shows?
Mm-mm.
You ever see a Chatter Chum at the show, even loose, or any of these Archies, the Mattel Archies or the Marx Archie figures over there? You
And
never,
strawberry shortcake.
never, yeah, strawberry shortcake. You never see that stuff.
Mm-mm.
None of it.
Mm-mm.
But you do see the stuff that's the most expensive. They get tons of it, and I'm like,
Yeah.
that doesn't make sense to me. Nerd says they have the inflatable remote control Tweaky. I remember that. I remember that. It's like it's a remote control base, and you pump up the Tweaky on top of it. It's weird. Lou said he's curious how you guys feel about mint vintage carded figures that someone had autographed by the actor. Personally, I don't want them signed.
I don't want them either. They can
Um,
keep it because they're gonna want a lot of money for them.
yeah,
And then it's gonna be all spread out all over the
I don't.
thing, and
I
you
and it
can't see it
depends on
well.
where it is. I don't mind. I don't. I'm not going to run out and get them signed. I do have. I've only got two figures that are signed, and
Mm-hmm.
that's the Buck Rogers and the Tweaky. But my Buck Rogers and Tweaky are signed. Um, but nothing else is. But I'm not going to run out and get it signed,
Mm-hmm.
really, because I don't care that much. Stone Sour says he doesn't even see that stuff on eBay that often. No, some of it is something I say a lot of times is that rare doesn't necessarily mean valuable. I've got stuff that's incredibly rare that it's so hard to find it doesn't make sense, but it's not worth a lot. It's not worth a lot, and you would think it would be because of the rarity. Munin says it's something brought up on the channel often how these high-end toy companies put out trash and get outdone by a toy that costs 15 while they cost hundreds only to disappoint. Yeah. And Sylvian, what do you think of fan made figures? I'm told some of the best work are fan made. In appearance, some of the fan made stuff, I know what you mean when you get a custom figure done, but physically, a lot of times they don't hold up. They can be in rough shape,
Mm-hmm.
and they can be very expensive depending upon what you're
Yeah.
looking for. It can be very expensive to get a custom figure done, especially if you're talking 6 scale. It can
Mm-hmm.
cost a lot even just for a head sculpt. It can
Yeah.
cost a fortune. And if they're 3D printing stuff, 3D printing 3D printed product doesn't tend to hold up very well over time.
Mm.
Unfortunately, it can cause it can start to dissolve. I've heard of that happening where it's like, it seemed like it was okay in 6 or 7 years down the line, which, is a little bit of time there. But yeah, suddenly bits are falling off
Yeah.
because the 3D printing process doesn't hold up very well.
And didn't somebody say that it starts getting oily? It starts leaking some type
I
of.
thought somebody said something like that. That
Yeah,
does
I
sound
remember
familiar.
somebody we talked about 3D printed figures or parts before, and they said that
Yeah,
it starts oozing out a type of oil or something, and be mindful if it gets on other things. So it's a lot to
lot to think, lot to
yeah.
think about.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. King
People.
says, where do people get custom figures and statues done? Sounds interesting. You can find groups dedicated to it on Facebook.
Yeah, Facebook and Instagram.
Yeah.
The people that make custom heads are hard to get because they get so busy.
Yeah, they're in high demand.
Yeah, but I mean, you ask around and you'll find them. I had one done. Um, it's expensive, but it was a figure I couldn't find of a person I wanted, and it came out nice. And then I just bought a body and clothes for him. You can get the body on eBay for $20, a 6 scale body, and then
Yeah.
you just buy some clothes,
Yeah.
and so you can do that. It's stuff around if you got to scour the internet, as they say, to find it, but you can find it.
And
I
nerd.
don't know about statues though. I know you can get a custom statue, but I haven't seen anybody that does it, and I'm guessing that's going to be ultra expensive.
Yeah. Nerd reminds us that custom value is subjective.
Yeah, or in the eye of the beholder. That's true. Because you got some people that are better than others. Because you got some people that do custom heads with the glass eyes and the rooted hair.
Yeah.
And then you got some that just do a sculpt. I mean, it just looks good, but it depends on how much you're willing to spend to get whatever you want. So.
uh, Dr. Cohen wants to know if we collect Kenner superpowers. I don't have any right now, and
Mm-hmm.
again, that was part of the collection that I lost. I
Okay.
had the whole line of Kenner superpowers, and I no longer do, and I have not been able to pursue it again.
That was K Munin that said that
Okay,
he has a friend with 3D printed accessories, and the thing opened up and started producing an enormous amount of sticky.
weird.
Ooh. King of Kings is going to start making figures itself.
Okay,
Okay,
there you
that'll be
go.
cool. So that might be somebody to reach out to if they got a Facebook page and put up some pictures of their work. You can send a picture and say, "Hey, can you make this head for me?" That's what I did. I
Yeah,
just took a picture.
they charge a lot.
Yeah, but I mean, if
Yeah.
they do a good job, then it's worth it. So.
And Lou said Charlie E. Flat used to get 750 to 1,000
Wow.
per custom figure back in the day, but the quality was insane. I would hope so.
Whoa,
I would
whoa,
hope
that's a lot
so.
of money.
Who, David buy all of those?
Yeah, David got a guy, and
Yeah,
I reached out to that guy, and he was quick about it. But I reached out to some other people, and they were like, "No, I got a waiting list 6 months long.
yeah,
Call me back and contact me back this time." And then I did, and it was like, "No, the list is already grown." It's like, good lord.
yeah. And what are you
So
going to do?
yeah,
What are you going to do?
yeah,
So there you are. Anyways, um, yeah, it's what, quarter to one?
yes.
Quarter to one. Nerd says, "Have you guys seen Stan's solo stuff or Han Solo? Han Solo, you mean,
I don't know.
or Stan Solo as a person?" If that's the case, then the answer is no.
Mm-mm.
And Edwin said,
No.
"Did you watch Star Wars and give your opinion?" No, she has not seen it yet.
Mm-mm.
But anyways, I guess we'll go ahead and wrap up because we do have things to do tomorrow. We're
Yeah.
already up way past our bedtime.
We old people.
Yeah, well, yeah. Oh, we get up very early, so normally we go to bed like around 9.
Old
So,
people.
oh,
Old people go to bed 9 o'clock.
yeah, but then they don't get up till noon. But we
Uh-uh.
get up at like 5:30 in the morning.
Yeah.
But anyways, we'll go ahead and start wrapping up.
Yes.
And thank you everybody
Yes.
for joining us this evening.
And happy New Year, happy 2025. And I pray that it's a prosperous and successful year for each and every one of you.
And special thanks to Stone Sour
Yes.
for reaching out and making a donation to the shelter cats that we take care of.
And again, thank you to everybody that took the
Mhm.
time out of their schedule to spend it with us. You spent your time and you sat with us and you chit chatted, and we had good conversation going back and forth, and we really appreciate it. The support that you give to the channel.
Sure.
So, yeah.
So we will catch you again sometime soon.
Mm-hmm.